So nowadays we have almost a new model coming in for every week, right? So most of the people who are building in AI, including me, are just stuck with the model whichever that they have been used at the start of building the application. Because switching the model is like completely changing the API structure, authentication, and sometimes the whole integration. So you just don't want to do it, and you'll completely stick with the one that is there when you just built out with the application. But there is a way that you could do where you just have to change the model name and everything would be sorted. So that's what I'm going to talk in this video. If we have to change out the model from, let's say, from OpenAI to Anthropic, so if you see, this is the endpoint that we have to use for the OpenAI models. And if we have to use Anthropic, we just have to go ahead and use this endpoint. And this is like a very big problem if you want to switch out the models, right? So in this video, we will be going with a solution that I am currently using so that you could completely use it out. So you could just change out the entire model name from your application or your AI application by just changing the model name. You don't have to change anything extra. So if that sounds interesting, let's get started with the video. Before getting started, this video is being done in collaboration with Concentrate. So with that being said, let's get started. So this is the platform that we'll be using today. So I'll be leaving the link in the description. You could just come over to the link and you'll be coming to the website. Just try to create an account with any of the available options. So once you are logged in, you'll be in this particular page. So now it's so simple to set it up. You need to have you would be recharging your OpenAI or like, let's say, Anthropic developer or the API accounts, right? So in the same way, you have to recharge these. And we also have an alternative, right? So we have the alternative of Open Router. So and the pricing is as well, the tax or whatever the thing that's going to come up is kind of a bit less when we just compare it with it. So here for $10, it's costing us around $10.8, right? So let's try to check how much it's costing on the side of $10. So I'll just click on buy and I'll put out $10. As you can see, it's only costing us around 10.59. So I mean, it might be a small amount now, but if you are purchasing, let's say, credits worth of $1,000, $2,000, this is actually going to be a thing that you could consider. So that is something that is there on this side, which is a bit cheap when you just compare it with Open Router. And let's just go with some really cool features that it has. So I mean, if you want to integrate it, it's so simple. So you just have to go ahead and create an API key. And once you have the API key, just go ahead to the documentation. So I'll just try to create a test API key right away. So I'll just click on test, and here you could set up the limit. So let's say if I just put it to like, let's say, $5. So this $5 thing, or maybe let's say I'll just put it to like, let's say, $30. And you could also make sure that the renew usage based on the limit that you have put, is it daily, monthly, weekly, you could just check with it. And here we have the zero data retention. That is something that is really good. And then if you want, you could just turn this on, where the data that's there is not going to be stored at all, and it's only going to be proceeding with the providers that doesn't take your or store your data. And we have logging. If you want to log the input prompt or whatever the things that you want to, you could go ahead and do that as well. But now I'm not going to be logging it, and I just click on create. So I'll now have the API key. I'll copy this out. And let's say if I have to go to guardrails, this is something that I have really liked here. So let's say if you are using an application, let's say something related to the PII, which is personally identifiable information, you should not be sharing that with the AI models, right? So that's what the users as well prefer. They don't want their data to be shared. So here you could just try to redact that information. Let's say if a person name, email, mobile number, whatever the things that are there in the prompt, it's going to be redacted. So that's a very, very good feature that you could consider over here. And yeah, these are all the things that you could check, which if you want to redact, you could just redact before sending it. So that can be done on the side of the guardrails. And then the other thing here is regarding the playground. You could just try to choose the models that are there and try to test it out directly over here. And now the important thing, we have all these models that we could go ahead and use it out. So you just have to copy the model name and you can use it. And here we have few filters that you could go ahead and check out regarding, like, let's say if you want reasoning models, you could just go ahead and click on that. So those are the things. And regarding the another feature, let's say if you are just using the Anthropic API key directly from Anthropic, if let's say Anthropic is down, usually this is the main Anthropic thing, right? So in this scenario, if you are using it from Concentrate, if the Anthropic servers are down, you could directly go ahead, automatically it gets from the different or the next provider that's available. Here in our case, we have Azure available. So if this is down, it's going to automatically get the data or interact with this particular provider. So the users won't like, I mean, even the Anthropic is down, your application would be up with Anthropic services running in. So that's another cool thing that you could check out over here. Now let's just try to set it up and understand how simple this is to set it up. So I'll just go to the documentation. So I'll just go to quick start. So I'll just go down. So this is a basic request that you could copy. I'll just copy this out, and I'm in the Postman. So this is just an extension to test it out. I'll just paste this out and I'll go to headers. Here I'll put out my API key. Obviously, I'll be revoking it after the video is recorded. I have added my API key over here. And here in the body, we could just change the model name. So let's say, as of now, just go with the GPT 5.2. If I just send the request, it's going to get the data. So as you can see, we now have the thing here. Let's just try to go ahead and change out the model name. So I'll go to the models page. Okay, let's try to copy the Anthropic. So I'll just copy this out, 4.8, and then I'll go to the Postman. So here I am in the Postman. I'll just try to change this to the Opus 4.8. So I'll just try to ask it a different question. Which model are you? So I'll just try to send the query now, request again, and let's just wait. As you can see, this is a model from Anthropic. I'm Claude, an AI assistant made by Anthropic. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, this is how simple you could just update the model name and you could go ahead and use it out. This is the thing on the side of the concentrate that you could really check out with. Now let's just see how you could integrate this with Claude Code. That is the main important thing. Like, we could just integrate it with Claude Code, or you could directly integrate it with the, like, what you say, the Codex, CLI, cursor, everything. So here we could just go to the, I mean, I'll be leaving all the links in the description, so you don't have to worry. In the introduction page, we have the Claude Code setup. So just click on that. So here we have these things. We could integrate it with Claude Code, Claude Desktop, Codex Beta, like the Codex here. Like, the thing is regarding the CLI, and we have cursor. So in the Claude Code, we have two different ways to integrate it with. So you could directly run this command, and that's going to do the job. And let's say if this command did not work, they have the manual installation that's there. Or I'll just tell you even a simpler approach. So what you have to do is, so I'll just leave this thing as well in the description. So just try to copy this out, and you have to go to the file, or the finder, or the file explorer, whatever, if you are on Windows. So just go to your root, and you have to type out this particular shortcut, or else the hidden files that are there won't be visible. So command shift and period symbol, or the dot we call it. So this is the present scenario that you would see when you are in your root directory, and you just have to again type that out. So you'll see the hidden folders. Just go into dot Claude. So here you should be able to see a file called settings.json. If you do not have that, just try to create that. I'll just try to create a new file. So I'll just try to open this at the terminal level, and then I'll just type out touch settings.json. So if you don't even have the file settings.json, just try to type out this command. This should do the job. So you'll now have the settings.json. So just try to open it up with any of the things. I'll just open it up with the text edit, and just try pasting the same thing. So here you should be able to paste it the same way. This is where you have to put your API key that you have got from concentrate. So once that's done, save this, and I just want to go back to Claude again, and I'll move it up. So I'll just try to open Claude, and I'll just try to log out once. So after I log out and log back in again, I'll just try to type out Claude again. So as you can see, it's now not going to ask you to log in with the Anthropic account or with the Anthropic API key and all. So automatically it's going to be configured with the concentrate. And if you just click on S, you should be able to see it up. Let's say now we'll try to use the new model that we have, which is GLM 5.2 directly over here. I'll just search for GLM. So this is the model, right? I'll just copy this out and I'll go back to Claude. I'll type out slash model and I'll paste this thing. So yeah, as you can see, I have pasted this out, right? I'll now open a new Claude Code session. So yeah, if I go to slash model, you should be able to see the custom model that we have, which is GLM 5. So as you can see, I just asked it what is the project about, and I just wanted to know if it's like using the real model that it needs to be using. So I'll just wait and see. Once this is done, I'll just check with the logs on the side of concentrate so that I'll understand which model this is actually using. So I mean, okay, so it came up with that this is a landing page for the mobile app that I'm building, which is Relio. So let me just try to refresh the logs. So as you can see, this is the uh like the time is now around 5:43 approximately. So yeah, that's the like it's using the GLM 5.2, and we could see the cost as well. So this is the way how you could like directly use out the model in Claude Code. Or if you don't have the Claude Code, you could just go ahead with the same setup with a codex or like cursor as well. So yeah, that's the whole thing that you could do along with this. So yeah, that's it for the video, and I hope you found this video helpful regarding setting up of your like the API integration and all for your app that you are building, so that when a model goes down you don't have to worry. And as well, the code structure or the code thing that is there is going to be the same. Even though the new models come up every week, you could just update them with the updation of just the model name instead of changing the entire like the entire API integration that's there around it. So that is going to be a helpful thing. So I'll leave the link to concentrate.ai in the description. You could just check that out. And I hope you found this video helpful. If you find it helpful, just give it a like. If you have any questions regarding this, please let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to help you out. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one.